So this is the Dull Edge, and we're going to talk about stuff we want to talk about. I'm Bobby,
I'm Shay.
and I want to talk about tipping. And
Okay, why though? Why did you want to talk about
so
tipping?
we were discussing. I was with my family and my brother. I don't remember how tipping got on there either, but
Uh,
he was like, "Oh no, a Subway's commercial came up," and he goes, "I want one of those cookies." But basically, you shove off Subways because first off, it used to be a $5 foot long.
right,
Now it's a
right.
$6 6 inch, which he's like, "How does the math work on that?" And also, when you go to tip, they don't have a no thanks, no tip thing.
Uh-huh.
You have to put in custom, and then you have to push zero.
Rude.
So
It's clever though.
yeah, and they're like, and the lowest one is like 15% or something like that.
Oh,
So it's not even like, oh, to give you a 10% tip or something. I don't
no.
know. So we were discussing it,
Uh-huh.
and I don't want to tell my answer because I already
Okay.
know. So what do you how do you feel about tipping?
Okay, I feel like there's a spectrum here
Uh huh.
because like if they haven't done anything for you
Mm-hmm.
or if it's like the bare minimum,
Uh
that's
huh.
just your job.
Yeah.
Like I know that nobody makes enough money and that everybody wants a tip. I get it. But like sorry, you didn't do anything worth a tip. A tip is for extraordinary service.
Right.
And like if it's just, you were standing there and you plopped beans onto my tortilla and then slid it down the line.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to tip on your iPad. Stop making your iPad make me feel guilty.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like that.
No, there were so many times when I went to Colorado that
Yeah.
they would do the tip, and then I would just look. I'd be like, I don't want to give 18. That sounds awful, but I don't want to give 18-20% to this, like whatever it was. Like
Uh-huh.
at the sushi place, yes, I tipped definitely at the sushi
Well, I
place.
know because
But
they're
like
like doing
they're
something.
doing something, and they would come and check on us all the time. Do you want more sushi? Do you want more sushi?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. But then like my mom and I saw this video where we're like, if I'm standing when I pay, I'm not tipping you.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, what about IHOP? Could you stand when you pay at like IHOP or Denny's or like those places?
I think that's like a loophole where like
Okay.
we're talking about like McDonald's or even
Sure.
Costa Vida or like
So
like if they Cooper goes if they bring my food to me,
uh-huh.
I'll tip them.
Assembly. Yes.
If I
Okay. Yeah.
have to go to get my food from you,
No.
no,
Yeah.
no, I'm not tipping you.
The assembly line. Like for me,
Yes.
it's the assembly line thing. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
tipping at the assembly line. And
Right.
if your iPad just automatically asks me for a tip, then no.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry. Like I know I feel really bad for even saying this
That's
because
what
I know how much they get paid and it's
right.
not enough to live.
Yeah.
And so like I feel like oh,
But
but you
then
also
do
didn't
you
do
do you
anything.
think do you I don't know. I've never worked fast food ever in my life.
Hmm.
I've worked retail, but like
All my siblings did fast food. I haven't
yet I feel like everyone should work a customer service job in their life,
Oh,
at least
amen
one,
to
whether
that.
it's fast food or it's retail or it's something.
Yeah,
Just so then you can be like,
every
oh,
single
holy
person.
frick.
Amen to that.
Do you think that the tips actually go to the people? Like, if you tip at McDonald's, do you think it actually goes to
No,
them, or do you think it just goes into the company and just whatever?
I
Because
don't have an answer like for
an
sure that I
official,
know an
yeah,
official answer, but I doubt it. I
that's
bet,
why I'm
and if
like,
it does, if they do get tips, they're breaking them up and splitting them between everybody on the shift.
maybe, but like,
It's
I
not
never
going
understood how you do that. Like when it's because like I like when you go to restaurants and you leave $5 on
on
the
the
table
table.
and you go,
Yeah,
I know that's not going to the company. That's going to go to the busboy or the
yeah. Well,
server or
unless they're
whatever.
super honest.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I'm like, there you go, ma'am, and or sir, and
I know.
money for you.
I know. Like part of me wants to like watch and make sure they pick it up, and I like want to leave a note and be like, "Don't share. This is for you.
I liked your service,
I like your service."
and maybe the chef,
Maybe.
like because they
Oh,
made the food.
my brother when he worked in Idaho
Yeah,
for his evil boss,
yeah.
um, the house tips did split for the shift, but because he was salary, he didn't get any, and he was the chef, the
Oh,
executive
frick.
chef.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He had to think of all this stuff and plop it
Yep,
out.
and pop it out, and he was not because he was salary, and I was like, like his servers would make more money than he would
That's a
in any
rip.
given night because he was on
I don't
salary.
know how people work. So this is like off topic now, but I don't know how people do salary because you get
Yeah,
ripped
you
off.
do get ripped
You
off.
work so many hours and you have to do way more work than everybody else.
Yeah.
And then you go home and you're sad.
We're lucky for Ben's salary though because he does get paid for his overtime.
Oh, good. There
So
you
yeah,
go. So that's like a loophole of like he gets extra
but that's
on top.
because he's in that weird space in between because he is a salaried employee for his company, but his company is a subcontractor for the government, and the government has to pay for the hours legally, and so they have to pay their employees for those hours.
Gotcha.
So we're lucky, but like if he was in the private sector for, did I say that right? Sector for his industry, no, we wouldn't get paid nothing. He'd be working 60-hour weeks and getting nothing for it.
Yeah, like my aunt is on salary and she works a boatload of hours, and it's just like and she has to, if anyone doesn't show up, it's usually her, and it's just like,
I hate
like
that.
it hurts your insides. You're like, you deserve more than this, man.
Okay. All right, but I want to go down that rabbit hole again with the tipping though. So like,
tipping.
when you tip, what kind of a tipper are you? Bare minimum, maximum? Like, what are you? What kind of tipper are you?
I still think it depends on where I'm at. Like if it's sushi or something, I usually do mid. I never do max because I'm not rich.
Yeah.
I can, like I already spent a boatload of money on the food, so like but like DoorDash and stuff, I do the minimum. Yeah. I'm so sorry, DoorDashers. But like
I think they understand. They better understand.
Yeah. I usually do the lowest one, and which varies because some people are like 10% and other people are like 15%.
18%. Yeah, I've seen that one as the low one. I'm like, guys, 18% as your low?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Anyway. No, so okay, I'm the same way, like usually, but Ben is an amazingly generous tipper, which is one of the reasons I fell in love with him.
Oh my gosh, well he's like a really good person. So
yeah, I always did my best. Like when I was on my own, like minimum wage job that I was in, I did as much as I could possibly afford.
Yeah.
Because it is like so hard. Like aside from like blue collar workers, like coal miners, and pipe layers, and
the construction
tile
and all
workers,
that stuff.
You know, those guys are incredible.
Oh yeah, you know what I love? Side thing, I love watching people do drywall.
Really?
It's so crazy. Or just like laying cement. Oh my gosh, people are so professional, and I'm like, I appreciate you so much.
Our tile cutter guy was pretty cool. Dude, when he came into the tile
they just like slap it down like it's nothing, and I'm like, that's satisfactory ASMR. It's not ASMR, but like, what are those things? Satisfying.
Where you watch them?
Yeah. Holy frick! I'm like,
I can't believe how much stuff those guys can carry.
Oh my gosh!
I could never do that. So like aside from those people that are like the actual workers of the universe, I think waitresses are the hardest working people out there. Like waitresses, teachers, blue collar workers, they work so hard. So
they get ripped on so much. There's so much poop they have to wade through just to get whatever.
Well, I don't understand. Why would you be rude to a waitress? I've never understood that. Like who does that? Why? Why would you, dude? Like I've never yet come across a waiter or a waitress in my entire life that's ever been like rude. Literally, to me.
Like on purpose, poopy. Like, and like when they're like, "Oh, we don't have that anymore." Like, do you really think that's their fault?
No, it's not their fault.
Or like, "Oh, we aren't doing that anymore." Like when they're like, "Oh, we're not doing that."
Sorry, we forgot to remove that special from that menu. Sorry, we don't have that anymore. It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, like my bad. Let me look at something else. Can you give me a couple more minutes?"
Yeah. Or what do you think? You know, like I think it's so crazy when people fight waiters and waitresses over stuff, and I'm like, they are literally not in charge of anything besides writing your order down.
It's like when you call in to argue with your insurance agent or whatever. It's like, you really think they have any power? Like when you're calling in for your medical stuff and paying your bills and you're like arguing with this person, they work in a call center. They're like probably making less money than you. Like why are you yelling at this person? They have no power.
They do that stuff to like my mom all the time, where they'll like call in and they'll be like, your guys' stuff on the internet is wrong. Your stuff is wrong.
Because she has access to the whole internet to fix
that. Yeah, to fix it. She doesn't have anything of whatever. Or like the post, they'll yell at her for the postage not getting to them on time. She's like, once it leaves my hands, it's literally not in my hands.
What am I supposed to do?
And it's crossing borders. I can't go through customs for you. Like, it's nuts.
My word.
It's so crazy that what people freak out at stuff. And I get you're like frustrated at the system. Yeah. But like, walk away and go,
but be frustrated at the system, not the person. Be like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. I was really looking forward to that, or
be
whatever.
Like, can I just vent to you real quick and be like,
it's not your company. Yeah, I know.
Whatever.
Like, you can make so many friends that way. Good heavens.
Yeah. Anyway. And most of the time, like, if you're super nice, I feel like to people, like, I'm more willing to help you. Like, I don't work in plumbing, right?
Yeah.
And when I walk out into the thing and they're like, wait, do you work here? And I'm like, well, yes. What can I help you find? But they're like, oh, well, and they'll ask me for something. I'll be like, I don't work in plumbing, but I'll help you find it. And usually if they're super patient, I will help you find the best I can. But if you're like one guy just kept repeating and he started yelling at me about that, and he kept being like, this key to the gardens. I was like, what are you even talking about?
Sir, I
finally was like, I don't work in this department. I'm going to go find someone for you.
Yeah.
And he's like, that'd be good. And I'm like, ugh.
Like, don't yell at me.
You know,
sir.
Yeah.
Don't yell at me.
But like, I don't even work here, and you didn't even, I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter. That guy had 4 teeth, so he has more issues than that.
Nah. But I never got yelled at. I'm just thinking about that now. When I worked at the fabric store, I never got yelled at. Probably because most of the ladies were
Nice
I
old
mean,
women.
like old ladies, yeah. They're not like, oh no. I guess I had some people that were frustrated on like Black Friday over like the fleece.
Sure.
But like, I'm okay if you're frustrated. It's fine. We'll do our best for each other.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I also just like, I'm a huge smiler when I'm in customer service. I'm like, hi, how's it going?
Same. Or I'll make
So,
jokes and be like, well, that's crazy, isn't
yeah.
it? I can't believe we don't
Yeah.
sell that.
Okay, but
Anyways, tipping.
tipping.
Sorry, whatever.
Oh man. There you go.
Oh my gosh.
I don't have any other stories
I
for
don't.
tipping.
Yeah, I don't either.
Be
But
nice to your waitresses.
yeah, be nice to the people that you have to go through to get stuff done. It's not their fault. It's corporate
really not.
uppers. So feel free to send them emails. They probably won't see them, and I
Yeah.
know that's frustrating. So say whatever you want. You know.
Right. But be nice to the waitress.
Be
It's
nice
not her
to
fault.
be nice to the people that you have to go through to get to the
Tip what you can.
wiener people.
Be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Anyways, let us know how much you tip in the, or if you tip.
Yeah.
I knew. Side.
No,
Sorry,
side.
really
Go.
fast. There was one dude that never tipped over anytime anything, and I'm like, you have to tip sometimes.
No, sir. Don't go
And
out then.
whatever. Oh, he'd go out.
We
Anyways,
didn't even talk about the whole European thing. I know Europe, you're different. If we have any listeners from over there, please comment. We would
yeah,
love to
please
hear
let
your
us know how your
perspective.
tipping works. But yeah. Anyways,
Thanks, guys.
thank you. Bye.
Bye.